Bay win the NFC South.
All right. We gave the Detroit Lions their props in the last video of the ops, getting to know the Detroit Lions. Deservedly so. They made it to the NFC Championship last year. They knocked us out of the playoffs. They beat us twice last season. You know, deservedly so that we pay them some respect. Really quickly before I get into this, as you guys will see throughout this video, you guys will see some all 22 tape that I myself cut up. That's something I'm going to be adding into my videos, trying to get more stuff popping on the screen for your guys' entertainment. It takes time to go through all of these plays and cut them up and edit them and put them on the screen for you guys. And it costs money. So I do really hope you guys enjoy this. I do it for you guys. I do it for the Tampa sports community because that's my passion. That's what I love to do. So I'm here for it. Hope you guys enjoy. Just continuing to, this is my first year on YouTube, just continuing to add different elements into my video to make them better overall. And hopefully just the ultimate goal of continuing to grow the Tampa sports community. As you guys know, I'm a fan. And I'm going to find a way. I'm not going to pick against the Bucs. I'm going to find a way, come up with a script where if the Bucs follow this, I think they can win the game. Read the context clues throughout the video. You're going to see me give the Lions more props and talk about their playmakers because they have a bunch of them. But in the end, you know, I'm picking the Bucs. So, to start off, injuries. Let's get it out of the way. There's a lot of them. Cansey, probably out again. Antoine Winfield Jr. is out. At the time that I'm making this, Zion McCollum still in concussion protocol. Luke Gedeke is in concussion protocol. Just injuries all over the place. It's not good. But you got to work with what you got, and this is what the Bucs got right now. Doesn't matter. You got to find a way to win in Detroit. And let's talk about winning in Detroit. We're underdogs. Pretty heavy underdogs. I think I saw the line was at -6.5 now for the Detroit Lions. I mean, I love that. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as fans, we're used to being disrespected. We're used to not being acknowledged. You look at our star players, Mike Evans, how long did it take him to get some respect? Levante David, I still don't think gets the respect. It's just the way of life down here. Let's play into it. The Bucs have, I'd say, 5 marquee matchups where they can put the league on notice. Last year, they played some good teams, and they didn't win those games. And, you know, the Bucs weren't looked at as, you know, a real threat. Even when they blew out the Eagles in the playoffs, it's still, the Eagles were reeling in the end of the season. You know, that wasn't the real Eagles team that they blew out. They go toe-to-toe with the Lions in Detroit all the way up to the end. And the Lions get the props. No one's talking about, the Bucs played pretty good going into the next season. Watch out for the Bucs. No, instead they picked the Atlanta Falcons to win the division. It's just disrespect, and we're used to it. But the Bucs have 5 chances. Lions, Chiefs, 49ers, Ravens, Eagles, to put the league on notice. And this Sunday is one of those chances. So let's do it. Underdog mentality, go into Detroit, put up a fight, and come out with a win. Let's go. So, I feel like if you didn't watch Sunday Night Football, I hope you did, because we may have seen somewhat, I'm not going to call it a blueprint, but some ideas, maybe some foreshadowing. We know about the relationship and the connection between Sean McVay and Liam Cohen, similarities in the offense, Liam Cohen coming from his coaching staff. The way they used Cooper Kupp, they had their way, honestly. Do you guys know? You've probably seen the stat, but if you haven't, Cooper Kupp got thrown the ball 21 times in that 21 times in that one game. That is insane. 14 receptions, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. Tons of motion. Puka Nacua went out early in the game. So it's really just, when you look at that Rams offense, they have that duo of Puka and Kupp. Puka goes out, it's just Cooper Kupp. McVay has him going all over the field, flat, across the middle. He's not really going deep. He had a couple of nice, 20-yard catches maybe, but never like deep. And those motions got Cooper Kupp open. On his touchdown pass, you see him motion, cut back. Carlton Davis slips. Cooper Kupp's wide open. Touchdown. And I think we're going to see a lot of that. I think we can see Godwin, who kind of played a Cooper Kupp type game against the Commanders. 8 receptions on 8 targets. A touchdown. Tons of third down conversions. Just Baker's safety blanket, if you would. I mean, I think the Bucs have more weapons than the Los Angeles Rams. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, McMillan, Rashad White, Bucky Irving. And then you look at the Rams, it's when Puka goes out, it's Cooper Kupp and Kyren Williams. So you can take advantage. There's ways to take advantage of this Detroit defense. Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, still seems to be a polarizing figure amongst Detroit fans. Has a bunch of names, has a bunch of players, really good personnel on that defense side of the ball, but continues to get beat in pass coverage. Last year, they had a clear weakness in the secondary, and the Bucs had a good game throwing the ball against the Detroit Lions when they were able to keep Baker Mayfield on his spot. Big detail there. Big detail. So that's going to be crucial for the Bucs. Aiden Hutchinson coming after Baker Mayfield every play. I mean, I wouldn't say Tristan Wirfs had his best game last week. You're going to need a big one. Luke Gedeke, concussion protocol, please play. Please play. Because if Baker can get time, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and McMillan, they're going to get open. They're going to get open. The Lions did improve in their secondary. They invested in it, and I do think it's better. But clearly we saw in week 1, Matthew Stafford threw for over 300 passing yards. They're still vulnerable even if improved. It still is that front 7 for the Detroit Lions that I'm worried about. And it's the pass rush, those 2 interior guys, McNeil and DJ Reader, who didn't even play against the Rams. And how much we'll be able to balance that run game. Again, similar. The Commanders got a pretty good interior offensive line. The Lions have a good entire defensive line. That's going to be really important, really interesting. Let's go to the defense. I already talked about the injuries, and the 2 biggest threats I think are Amon-Ra. He always kills the Bucs, and Sam Laporta. He's one of the just different breed type of tight ends with his size and athleticism. In the playoffs last year, that's where we got beat. Throwing the ball in the middle of the field. The Bucs couldn't get a pass rush on Jared Goff. He sat there. He could have taken a bite out of his peanut butter jelly sandwich. Looked around. First read, second read, third read. Throw the ball. I mean, that's just how it felt just watching that game in the playoffs. The Bucs have to get a pass rush. They have to do it. And it's really going to hurt if Kalijah Kancey is not playing. Because if we could get that pass rush coming from the interior, we saw Kalijah make a difference in those 2 games against the Lions. We need it. We need it because those outside guys did not do much. Yaya did not do much against the Lions. Joe didn't do much against the Lions. They're going to have to step it up. They're going to have to step it up. Joe, really good first game. He got a sack. I'd call it 1.5 sacks. Yaya didn't get on the stat sheet, but I mean on Joe's sack, Yaya was right behind him. They got to come up big this game. And then in pass coverage against those 2 weapons, Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta, the struggle came, I don't think KJ Britt still is that pass coverage linebacker. He's known to be a run stopper, really good, really disciplined, filling in those gaps, stopping the run. Lavonte David, he can do it all. He can run stuff. He can go sideline to sideline. Pass coverage, even at his age, he can still do it. But there is someone on this Bucs roster who can stand next to Lavonte David and help him out in pass coverage, and that's Servassier Dennis. Before this season, we never saw Servassier and Lavonte David on the field at the same time. Servassier was pretty much strictly Lavonte David's backup. And we saw in week 1 against the Commanders, them on the field at the same time, which is a big deal, guys. It's a big deal, and it makes this linebacker group more versatile if Servassier can get in there more often, because he is a very good pass coverage linebacker, which will be very important in this game. Against Commanders, I feel like it was like first, second down KJ Britt, third down pass situation, throw in Servassier Dennis. I think we're seeing more Servassier Dennis in this game, which I am perfectly fine with. So if they can find a way to limit those between the hash throws, Amon-Ra in the slot, Laporta going up the seam, cutting inside, whatever it may be, if they can limit that, it'll help this team and this defense out a lot. Now on the back end, there's still responsibility there for safeties to guard, tight ends, receivers, whatever it may be. Jordan Whitehead, not really known to be a pass coverage safety, but I do think in his time in that really good Jets defense, I do think he improved in pass coverage. On the other side, what would be Antoine Winfield next to him, it is now probably going to be Christian Izien, Mr. Versatile now in the secondary. And I'm not confident, but I'm comfortable with it. I don't think he'll be any worse than our starting safety last year, Ryan Neal, who played in both of the Detroit Lions games, started both of the Detroit Lions games, and got torched in both of the Detroit Lions games. So that has to be an improvement there. On the outside, Dean is a solid corner when healthy, and then you just got to hope that Zion McCollum can get out of concussion protocol. Behind him, maybe even in front of him, depending on how Zion is, Thunder. Funderburk. Seeing his first action in a game like this, pretty crazy, but you got to do what you got to do. He was out last week. Could have used him when all of those corners went out, but this week, time to shine, time to ball. Very excited to see how he does in his first action. Like I said, tough task, tall task. We know about the backfield, Montgomery and Gibbs. The Bucs are usually pretty good in the run defense. They fell back a little bit last season. This season, looking to get back right into what they usually are in a Todd Bowles defense. But it all really just comes back down to pass rush. Pass rush is so important and changes how you can play, how you can position yourselves in so many different ways on a defense. If the Bucs are not able to get to Jared Goff with 4, which I wouldn't be surprised if they're unable to do, especially if Kancey is out, Todd Bowles, send blitzes, send heat, knock Goff off his spot. It's just, how does he create those blitzes in a way where it doesn't open up that middle of the field that Goff likes? Because if you're sending Lavonte and Dennis or Britt, guess what opens up? The middle of the field. And guess who's going to come in, running in right behind Lavonte David when he comes blitzing? Amon-Ra St. Brown. And guess who's going to take that crosser? How long? We've seen it happen. He's going to have to cook something up. Todd Bowles is going to have to cook up a crazy game plan to find a way to stop this with the injuries. Is it possible? For sure. But I think this offense is just going to have to go toe-to-toe with the Detroit Lions. And I've already spoken on the offense. I love what I saw week 1, but they got to come out hot. They got to come out hot from the beginning and control the game. Take your shots when you need to, but control the ball, control the clock, control possession. Third and manageable. You can't go 3 and out in this game. And what the Buccaneers can't do, in my opinion, is go down early. You can't let the Lions come out at home with momentum, go touchdown, and you don't answer. It's 14-0. The whole game changes. So the Bucs have to go, come out hot, put together a good first drive. The Bucs haven't scored a first drive touchdown in forever. This would be a fantastic game to do so. It really would. It really would. But if the Bucs are able to use Chris Godwin in that motion, sort of like that Cooper Kupp rule, have Mike Evans take some deep shots, put some pressure on their defense, I think this offense can go toe-to-toe with this Detroit Lions offense. Like I said, hopefully we get Zion. Hopefully we get Luke Gedeke, some of these guys back. But I'm going to throw a final score out there of 30-27 Bucs win. Going to be very tough. Pretty sure of that. But I do think there's a way. And let's see how the Bucs come out on Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching, everyone that's gotten to this point. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. Comment down below your score prediction on this game. Once again, thank you. Go Bucs. Y'all have a blessed one.